All right, guys, how's it going? So obviously the news is out that Mo Salah is to be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. That news came out just after I concluded today's live stream. And on that live stream, we were actually discussing Mo Salah. Do you think he'll be at Liverpool next season? I said no. If you think back to some of the mail stand emails that we've had over the last few weeks, months, however long it is, there was claims that bad vibe was still there with Salah and with Slot or whatever. Following that ding dong. Not saying that is why he's leaving or anything. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that will be, trying to pin the blame on Arne Slot, if you like, because they've probably got agendas. They want him gone or whatever. To be honest with you, over that situation, I actually. I was with Slot over that. But anyway, the reason I'm making the video is to give you an opportunity to leave your opinions about it. So I concluded the live stream. Then I went to pick her indoors up, and then it was all coming out. I was listening to it on the radio. Sod's law, really, that I wasn't here or that we weren't live at the time. But I was just looking at the the statement, if you like, the official statement, the club's point of view. And I reckon, my prediction is that we will get some emails in overnight about this. So stay alert tomorrow. Maybe some people will have some opinions on it. I saw his agent, what's he called? Run me a bath, ram me a bath. Hey, don't tire, does it? Doesn't tire. I seen him put a tweet out saying, we don't know when we'll be playing next year, so be wary or be careful of the attention-seeking, clickbaiting content creators and stuff like that will be trying to claim they know what's happening. He basically said we don't even know where he's going. Now, so I was listening to it all on the radio and everything, and the only thing I think about the situation is it doesn't come as a surprise to me that he's not going to be at Liverpool next year. Although, some of you, I'm sure, will think, well, he signed that contract and now he's gone. So it's obviously gone tits up, right? The relationship there. But it's the timing of the announcement. It's the timing of the announcement. And I feel like Salah has had the last laugh, if you like, because Mo Salah is a very, very, very clever individual, right? And so is his agent. They know what they're doing. I don't think the club wanted that news out there at the moment at all. Now, if you look at the official statement, if you like, on the what we used to call the offal, that was what we used to call the offal back in the day, the late 90s, early 2000s, we called it the offal, the official site. And the bit that stands out for me is the third paragraph, if you like, where it says Salah expressed his wish to make this announcement to the supporters at the earliest possible opportunity. And I think that's the club saying, we didn't want that out there. I genuinely don't think the club would want that out there. It's a distraction. I think it puts pressure on the manager in terms of selection. The manager's already under the cosh. It's obvious that people with agenda towards the manager are going to be saying, this is all because of Arne Slot, it's his fault. It's another, it's just a bit of pressure, I think, for the powers that be, because we obviously know we've got, ongoing questions about the manager or head coach, whatever you want to call him. Okay, Ornstein said that the club is steadfastly behind him, yet there's no contract extension yet, so they can't be that steadfast behind him. Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, Arne Slot, no sign of any contracts for them. If you had so much confidence in those people, I think that those things would have been resolved by now. I think there's going to be a lot of upheaval at that club in the summer. And we said this today on the live stream. This is no ITK shit. It's a bit of common sense, I would have thought. So I don't know. It's just another issue. I just think that there's going to be, if they don't do it right, the owners. We discussed this today, right? So who exactly is going to be advising the owners with all of these various topics? Because Edwards was brought in to head their football operations, if you like, for the group with this multi-club thing, but we know that's not happening now. They obviously put a lot of trust in him. I've never understood the Michael Edwards thing. I've never understood why people think, the sun shines out of his ass. I've never got it. And I've never understood how he got so much power. So who exactly is going to be advising the owners on, on them, on Edwards, on Hughes, on Slot, all these different things? It's a little bit confusing for me. I'm just trying to work out who exactly is running the show, if that makes sense. Because, you've got the owners, at the top there, but they're not football people. And that's why they put their trust in people to run the operations for them, if you like. And it's starting to sound like me with the, the Edwards frustration. Listen, my followers know that I use that word frustration and Edwards for 6 months minimum. And it came out the other day in the James Pierce article, if you like, that he was frustrated. That was the word, not frustration, frustrated. They're slightly different. It's something that I saw in a WhatsApp conversation, a screenshot that was sent to me a long time ago to do with Edwards being frustrated over the lack of purchasing a second club. That was the reason he apparently was convinced to come in. I just don't know who's running the show, to be honest with you. And you may remember a few months ago, and I can't remember when. What my memory is like. It's like a sieve. But you'll remember Jose Felix Diaz in Madrid, the closest journalist to Real Madrid, saying that Liverpool had definitely approached Xabi Alonso about, the possibility if a vacancy arose at Liverpool as coming in as manager. And it just makes me wonder, who made that approach? Like FSG, highly unlikely, the big cheese there. Edwards, I'm not so sure if he's not going to be around. Hughes. I don't know if you've noticed, and I don't know if you pay a lot of attention to the mail stand videos and the emails that we get from people from time to time that claim that they're, involved or know people, and they're very good, to be honest with you. But I don't know if you've noticed, but there hasn't been a lot of criticism about Ward. His name has come up a few times. I think there was a mail stand suggesting that he was the one that was doing the, bit of sniffing around Alonso, if you like. I was told, I can't remember the name, and I mentioned it this afternoon on the stream, but I was told that one of the FSG people, if you like, so not the usual names that you really hear, like Hughes, Edwards, Werner, Henry, but one of them was apparently set to be leaving, but they're involved with the Liverpool side. There's just so much like fucking confusion going on, to be honest. There's no wonder I can't get my head around it, and I'm sure you can't too. So it's kind of like, one time, or when I started this stuff, you used to just talk about what players you might sign and, maybe who the manager was or something. Very rarely was there a big drama about the manager. These days, we seem to spend more time talking about executives and suits and people that we shouldn't even know exist. When I was a young lad and a young man growing up, I didn't know really who owned the club that much or who the chief executive was. And then we got into the modern day media where you started to see these people like Rick Parry, appearing on interviews with his fancy ties and all that. But these days we seem to give more emphasis. It's like they're the stars. Michael Edwards, superstar, we got him back at Anfield. Do you remember Bad News Pierce? One of them, there's been a few of them, but Bad News Pierce, not long into the season had just started. Do you remember the articles? He telling us how amazing Richard Hughes was, and he'd done this and he's done that, and he's responsible for everything, all the positivity, all the success, the appointment of Arne Slot. Not heard anything saying any different since, have we? It's just like all we tend to hear about is these suits. I don't want to know about these fucking people. So I'm a bit confused as to who's doing the communicating behind the scenes, and who exactly is going to be advising FSG right now. That's the bit I can't get my head around, because there's obviously an issue with Edwards. Hughes' situation is is clearly not stable or secure because they all have new contracts, guys. And now we've got the Mo Salah thing thrown in, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? It's been a fucked up season, hasn't it? It's been absolutely mental. I remember the excitement and the buzz that we had in the summer, with the recruitment that we had. We might not have agreed that they were the priority kind of players we should have signed. I think most of you, like me, would have agreed that we needed a centre-back, a number 6, things like that. But there's time players that, we were like, well, fucking hell, this is different under FSG, And we're all expecting this greatness. And we've had a season where we've had bust-ups between Salah and the manager, head coach, whatever you want to call him. And now Salah's off, despite all that. Will he stay? Will he whatever? Now he's off now. So it's like we went through all that fucking stress of signing, getting him to sign a new contract. Now he's off anyway, right? Then we had told about these amazing executives that were coming in to run the fucking show. And now they haven't got new contracts and they're frustrated. And now this new club idea, second club's all shelved now. What the fuck's going on? Then there's rumours that the big cheese are going to be coming over. John Henry doesn't turn out very often unless there's something fucking wrong. Right? So there's talk of him maybe putting in an appearance soon, but you don't know what to fucking believe, do you? There's all this going on. Then there's people saying, they're going to sell the club. Be careful, right? There's a lot of people at the moment with agendas, right? They want the manager out, so they'll find something to tell you, like some negativity about him. Let's just be fair. If we're going to criticise the manager, let's do it based on facts and things we know that he's not a very good one. No, what I mean is, like, you're going to hear a lot of rumours, just to back up these people with agendas. Let me tell you something that I do, right? When someone comes on one of my live streams or bothers to take the time to leave a comment on one of my videos, they might say, this person on X. Now, first of all, I usually stop listening at that point. But if someone comes on and makes a claim that, someone's made this claim about Arne Slot. And I go, all right, who's that then? And I go, well, they're on X. I go, all right, there's a surprise. But I go, no, because, maybe not everyone on X is mental. So we have a look, right? And what I always do is I get my AI, right? Dave, you know the man. And I say to Dave, I'll say, look, Dave, this person's made this claim about the manager, all right? What I want you to do is go back over their tweets, if you like, their posts on social media over the last 6 months and try and tell me what their attitude is towards the manager. Now, if a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, they were referring to Slot as the bald-headed fraud or something, that probably means that what they're saying right now might have a bit of agenda behind it. However, if they're positive and being like, well, I think Slot deserves a chance, but I've heard this rumour, maybe you would listen to them a little bit. What I want you to do is not get caught up in people's agendas, all right? Because I think there's a lot of misinformation flying around at the moment. But at the same time, there's a bit of uncertainty going on, guys, isn't there? I want this season to end. I really do. And you know what? I guess you would say that Mo Salah news is a bit of a surprise. The timing, I think Mo Salah's going, fuck you, I'll have the last fucking laugh. That's what I think. But I think we're going to get some more big things like that. I think there's all sorts coming. I really do. It's just an hunch. I've had it for a while. I think I've been right with quite a few things, to be honest with you. To do with the Hughes. This is going to come out. That's going to come out. Edwards frustrated. It's all coming out. And if I was you, I'd pay attention to the mail stand. I bet you we have some mail stands tomorrow. I don't know if we will, but I'd be very surprised if we do. I don't know, guys. Do you know what? All I want to do is watch football. Good players, good manager, trying their hardest. That's all I ask to try. But it's like a fucking soap opera, innit? And there's more to come. That dun 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 dun. I'm telling you, there's more to come. Telling you. All right, I'm going to leave it with you. I'm going to get my dinner now. Yeah, priorities and all that. Scrambled egg on toast, in case you're wondering. All right, I'll leave it with you. I'd like to know your thoughts. Now, listen, my video might not be, it might be all over the place. They usually are. I weren't planning on making any videos. I'm just a bit confused by it all, to be honest with you. The timing of it is very, very strange, I think. Very strange. And that statement, Mo Salah wants you to know. In other words, we didn't want you to fucking know right now because we got enough on our fucking plate. You know what I mean? There's all sorts going. If you're one of them, whether you think they're good owners or good executives or sporting directors running a show or what, you must know they must have all gone, oh, for fuck's sake, why does he want to do it now? Do you not know what's fucking good? Telling you, I'd be fucking raging. If I was John Henry now, right, think about this. I always say, try and put yourself in people's... What would you be thinking now? You'd think, I fucking brought you in. You told me he was going to be the next best thing since club. Look at the fucking shit show. You spent all my fucking money. Could have had another yacht, right? He ain't going to be happy, is he? He's not going to be happy. Now, Mo Salah, now he's going. The fans will be going fucking mental. Telling you, fucking hell on. It's coming. I'm telling you, there's more coming. I'm fucking telling you. Right, I'm off. All right, see you later. Now, listen, if you enjoy it, this is the grift. You can turn off at this bit, all right? You can turn off at this bit. I make no secrets. This is the grift. Thumbs up my video if you like my video. Drop me I need to hear your comments on this one. I'm a bit confused. I'm still like, to be honest with you, I've not really processed it all yet. I will do overnight, but in the meantime, I'd love to hear your comments. All right. There's a love out under the video if you want to get me a super chat. Just saying. All right. Cool. Nice one. I always give a shout out to everyone that supports my channel with the super chats. On the morning briefing, I didn't do a morning briefing today. I do apologise. I've been very busy. All right. But there'll definitely be one in the morning. We need to catch up in the morning, 1,000,000%. So this is going to be a good video for me in the sense of getting the feedback from you guys. All right. All right, guys. Take it easy. Listen. Mo Salah, I'm sure you know, great player. Love Mo Salah. Given us years of entertainment. It seems like a long time since I was entertained, though, by this current Liverpool side. But let's not get too depressed. I just think there's a lot of change coming. I do. There's going to be a lot. I mean, see, I can't stop the video. When you think about it, you could end up. We don't know. All right, maybe now they're going to go, oh, we're going to have to, we've got so much shit going on. You're going to have to give that silly cunt a contract. You don't know, do you? You don't know. So, but potentially you could be losing Hughes, Edwards, Slot. Potentially, we don't know. I'm not an ITK, I have no idea. Right? I'm fucking 51, not 15. ITKs, fucking idiots. Right? None of them knew Salah was going to drop that news today, did they? But they'll all know now, won't they? How the decision was made. Alt journals will be at it tomorrow. What the fuck's sake? Them clicker journals will get useless. Hughes, Salah, Slot, Edwards, multiple play, Canate, multiple other turnover. We've got a World Cup year coming, difficult. All that shit coming up in summer. Oh, I don't know. I tell you what, if I was Xabi Alonso right now, I'd be turning my phone, be on fucking mute. You could go and work there, even if fucking laugh. Fuck that. Weird. What a weird. I'm just waffling. But I'm just confused by it, that's all. All right, I'm off. I've said that about 3 times. I'll see you later. Let me know your comments and all that. All right, thumbs up the video and everything. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to look forward to reading your comments overnight. I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to go on the computer. I've got all sorts to do. But I'll be watching what you've got to say about it. All right. See you later.